Yo, what's good, YouTube? In today's video, I got y'all the new top 5 meta loadouts to use after the Season 4 Reloaded update. So what I need y'all to do is break 200 likes on today's video, subscribe with notifications turned on, and let's get into it. All right, so for our first gun here today, we're going to be taking a look at the FFAR-1. That Craig did get a bit of a buff, a bit of a nerf, but the FFAR is now actually really good. So I think you guys will enjoy using this gun. So let's show you guys here how to build it out correctly. First thing in the optics section, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our red dot sight of choice. My personally is gonna be the Volziski Reflex. I really enjoy going for this. So I'd say for you guys to pretty much go for this, maybe go for the Kepler Microflex, or maybe some other red dot that you like. The Acute Spot Reflex kind of gives you that Black Ops 1 vibe for you guys that play that game. But overall, the Volziski Reflex is my go-to, and I just go over here and change the reticle over to the blue dot. So I like that quite a bit. Let's get on back in here. Muzzle section, there's kind of something that's up in the air on what to actually use in the muzzle section. Some people like the compensator. Other people, like myself, actually prefer the ported compensator. You guys can try it out for yourself in the firing range, see what works best for you. I personally find that the ported compensator works better for me in game. I like how it feels. I feel like the recoil is much more manageable. So I go for the ported compensator. You guys definitely should not be going for the mono suppressor. You got to choose basically the ported or the regular compensator and see what works best for you. Barrel section, you're still going to want to go in here and largely use the reinforced barrel. You guys can see that your damage at effective range is 54.5 meters, which is really awesome. Even if you go down here to the gain twist barrel, not going to be as great at 41.9. We'd much prefer it to be a little bit farther out than that. And our bullet velocity being at almost 1100 is perfectly fine, perfectly acceptable. So go ahead and run the reinforced barrel here on this gun. On the barrel section, you guys want to just go for the vertical foregrip here, or you can test out the G grip. That'd be like my only other recommendation. Largely speaking, I just go for the vertical foregrip as this feels the best to me. And of course, lastly, we go for extended mag 2. This is what you guys should always be running. Extended mag 2, 60 rounds in the mag. It is what it is. And that's going to be that. That's my full build. Get help unlocking Dark Matter, Abyss, and Nebula camos in Black Ops 6 with Mitch Cactus. They're absolutely the biggest and most reliable in Call of Duty right now. Whether you want something across multiplayer, zombies, or Warzone, they're completely legitimate for all platforms. They're super trusted by the community, and you may have seen them all over YouTube, and that's for good reason. They'll unlock all your camos, augments, and more without needing to lift a finger. With over 17,000 reviews and thousands of personalized vouchers, they're the go-to for all things in Call of Duty. Use code CHUCK at checkout for 5% off. Next up here is going to be a build for the LC10 SMG. This gun actually did not catch any type of nerf, got anything a bit of a buff. So we're actually going to show you guys here how to build this thing out. There's a few different ways to do it, but we're going to go for the best close range option. Muzzle section. Actually, we're not going to go to the muzzle section. What am I talking about? We're going to go for the barrel, and we're just going to go through on the long barrel to increase our damage range as much as possible. You can see your damage at effective range is 16.1 meters, which is great. We don't really care about increasing our bullet velocity. Don't have to do that. So we're just going to go through on the long barrel. It'll be great and do everything we need to. On the barrel section, you guys should just go through on the Ranger foregrip here. It stabilizes out your gun the absolute most you possibly can need out of a grip on this gun, because we don't need anything really much at all, to be honest. And this just also gives us that sprinting movement speed. So don't recommend the vertical grip or the G grip. I don't think those are useful. Just go for the Ranger foregrip. Magazine, you should just go for extended mag 2 here to give you that extra boost in ammo from, was it 30 to 55, which is really nice. Rear grip section, we're going back in here and we're going to use the ergonomic grip. You can see this. It does everything you should have on an SMG for close range, which is dive to fire, slide to fire, ADS speed, and jumping aim down sight speed. It allows you to freely move at close range, which is great, and what's exactly what we're using this for. Lastly, in the stock section, two really good options in here, one being the infiltrator stock, which I quite like. Having better aim locking movement speed helps with your ADS, like, you know, aim assist and stuff like that. Helps you become a bit of a harder target when you're shooting, and you're not like kind of stuck with, like, you know, in quicksand almost, in a sense where, you know, you start ADSing and all of a sudden you're just stuck in one spot. No, it allows you to freely move around. And then also the balance stock down here is really good for overall mobility increase and stuff like that. And it still gives you a lot of great benefits. So balance or infiltrator, you really can't go wrong. But that's the full build. Next up, let's take a look here at a really solid AR that I think is very slept on, the GPR-91. We're going to show you guys how to build this thing. It's primarily a resurgence style AR, and that's going to be very much so indicative of our choice of optic, which is going to be like the Kepler Microflex or maybe the Volziski. You guys can go down here, and I should say that for any assault rifle in the game, unless there is like a very big game balancing meta change update, you want to stick with at maximum a 3x scope and go for maybe the 2x, and those are going to be like your primary magnification scopes. Anything else down here is not really going to be good. You want to just basically stick with these and then any of these optics on up here in the list. And that can be the same for essentially, that can be said for about any assault rifle in the game right now. So Wilczynski Reflex works great. Merlin Mini can do that. Kepler Microflex. This works great. So we'll go ahead and select this. Of course, we're going to go into the customize section and throw on the blue dot right there. Now going back in here, we're just throwing the magazine real quick. Extended Mag 2, you guys kind of know the drill on this thing. I ain't really got to explain that too much. So Extended Mag 2. Now we're going to go in here to the muzzle section and we're going to go throw on the compensator. I think the compensator is going to be good for the mass majority of people out there. It helps keep you more on target. It's just overall better. You can see our damage at effective range right now, because we don't have a barrel on it yet, it's not going to be all that great at 33 meters. So we're definitely going to go and increase that with a barrel, but this helps you out tremendously with your overall accuracy. Barrel section, what you guys want to go ahead and do is throw on the reinforced barrel. This right here, like one of the reasons this would be, you know, considered like not as powerful as like the FFAR, or sometimes even if you want to use the Krieg still, is just because you can see your damage at effective range is 40 meters. And that's why I said it is primarily Resurgence AR, because it's really, really good for that like 40-ish meter range. And then when you start getting out to like way far distances, like that's when it's not really effective. So that's why it's used for Resurgence primarily. And your bullet velocity is also an indication of that. It's like if you have something that's going to be used primarily on Verdansk, then you want it to be at that 1300 plus meters per second, which really does make a big difference. Underbarrel, lastly, vertical foregrip here does the most for horizontal recoil, and it's exactly what we need. So that right there is your full GPR build. Now at the number 4 slot here, and not really going in any particular order, just trying to give you guys differentiation between AR, SMG, etc. The C9. So the C9 is really good, and I think you guys should be using this thing. So first thing, barrel section. There's actually a bit of a debate right now between the long barrel and the reinforced barrel. To be honest with you guys, I've been using the reinforced barrel here a lot recently. It just feels really nice having still 15.2 meters of damage range, which is really good for an SMG, and still being able to have a great bullet velocity. So you're not going to go wrong, realistically speaking, with either the long barrel or the reinforced barrel. I just don't really recommend the gain twist. It doesn't really do you that much good. Having 13.2 meters, you'd much rather be at that 15 to 17 mark. So long or short, or not long or short, long or reinforced, you want to go for that. Underbarrel, you guys want to go down here and use the Ranger foregrip, though I will say some people find good success using the vertical. The C9 has that recoil where it's like very straight, and all of a sudden it starts to jiggle around, get a little bit, you know, uncontrollable. So that's where the vertical would be handy. And then right down here for everything else, the Ranger, I think, is going to be the better move. Magazine, of course, you're going to go through on the, not the 10 mil, you're going to go through on the Extended Mag 2. Gives you 50 rounds in the mag. They didn't really buff this to make it actually like really, really good in the update. So I'd say that you're just going to want to go for Extended Mag 2. Rear grip, of course, we're going to go for the ergonomic grip. You guys kind of know the drill in this one. It is everything you need it to. It is like my only choice for SMGs right now. And then in the stock section, I go through on the balance stock as my choice, but the infiltrator can work really good, and some people like the no stock on this gun. If anything, I'm going to go for the infiltrator or the balanced, but I go for the balanced. That is my choice. So that's my full build. And last but not least here, for a really solid AR to use, or technically a marksman rifle, the SWAT, aka the Grau 5.56. First thing, which is obvious, you got to throw the SWAT 5.56 Grau conversion kit. No one uses the SWAT. I actually had someone ask me, why does their Grau fire in 3-round bursts? And I was like, brother, I hate to break it to you, but you need the conversion kit. That's kind of necessary. So we're gonna throw that on there. And after that, we're gonna go in here to the rear grip section, as we're gonna be using the iron sights on this build. You guys can basically go for really whatever in here: quick draw, assault, commando grip. The commandos, normally speaking, what I run, I just find it to be really nice. It gives you a little bit more of that speed, as there really isn't another attachment slot that you're gonna wanna go throw something on. Unless you wanna throw on an optic in place of this, then that's perfectly fine. Overall though, I'd say the rear grip is gonna be the only other attachment slot that you're gonna wanna use something for. After that magazine, of course, we have one option in here, so we're gonna go and use that. Now in the underbarrel section, pretty standard vertical foregrip. This is a primary long range AR, so you wanna go for that. And last but not least, in the muzzle section, two really great options in here. One being the ported compensator. If you guys want a little bit more recoil control, that's super awesome. And then if you're playing Rebirth, if you feel just very confident in your shot and you're okay with some of the recoil, throw on the mono suppressor. Get yourself a little bit extra range. You can see your range is really nice with the mono suppressor. It's still perfectly fine with the ported. So just kind of keep that in mind. You will be hitting harder with the mono by a little bit of a margin, but sometimes, you know, hitting more shots deported can make up for what you would have gained with the mono. Just kind of weigh it out and see what works best for you, but this is what I go with. So that's gonna be that's my full build. That's my top 5. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a like, subscribe, check out this other video on screen, and I'll see you all next time.